Welcome back to the Slasher Siblings podcast. I'm your co-host Cicely,
I'm your host Hayden.
and today we're talking about Brightburn. Came out in 2019. It's rated R, an hour and 30 minutes long. Got a 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb. What if a child from another world crash landed on Earth, but instead of becoming a hero to mankind, he proved to be something far more sinister. Crazy.
So I didn't really, when this movie first came out, I didn't know it was going to be a horror movie exactly. Because I knew it was like a superhero. What if Superman was like evil?
Pretty much, and also child.
And also child, yeah, but Superman, grows up and everything. But I didn't realize that it would be a horror aspect where what if Superman was bad? Basically, is the gist.
What if Superman was a naughty little boy?
Yeah. So go ahead and read the question from last week.
What 2014 horror comedy is about beavers becoming zombies? Answer: Zombievers.
If you got that one,
lol.
Good job. If not, I don't know how you couldn't, because that was pretty easy. But if you didn't, better luck next time. But this was certainly an interesting movie.
Yeah.
I've wanted to see it for a long time because it's a movie about a superhero being bad, pretty much. And if anybody watches The Boys is basically like, what if realistic life had superheroes?
And they were evil.
Well, not necessarily. Just
some of them.
Well, that's what the realistic world would create. Like, they would,
Yeah, because humans are evil.
Well, yeah, but
and
like we
good.
would, what's the word? We would take advantage of the superheroes.
Yeah,
like try to market off of everything that they do to where
Obviously.
They eventually, go insane. Pretty much, that's how Homelander worked out. Because he at least tried to be a good person, or at least be rational in the beginning of the show, to where he eventually turns crazy. But it's like, what if superheroes were in the realistic world of, like, legit today? They'd have them all over social media. They'd be marketing everything that they do, and they try to run their lives and all this other shit. This is like, what if the comic book Superman, instead of him growing up to be a good hero, to be, saving the world, what if he was actually destroying it?
What if he was actually a terrible person?
Exactly. But it opens on a little farmhouse, which looked a lot like Superman's farm from the comic books.
Uh-huh.
Which, that's what it's supposed to look like. But it opens on a little farmhouse with a couple trying to have a baby. Which also turns into the meteorite falling, quote unquote, the meteor falling to Earth. And that's pretty much all we saw from that moment.
Yeah.
Like, the meteor just lands on Earth, and they do a shot out the window where you see like the red glowing light from the meteor. But then we see a nice happy family. He was taken in by these two, and they were trying to be good parents and have him grow up happy and smart, and what every parent
things.
all the good things that every parent tries to do. But it was also shown that he is actually very smart. He's talking about all this like kind of like hidden knowledge about the bees and wasps and stuff. Like,
then he gets made fun of.
Yeah.
Which is lame. Don't like to see that.
But the girl was like, oh, well, smart guys, run the world or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was very nice of her to say that because, she was the only one being nice to him. So that was good on his part, though, because he actually had one person who wasn't mean to him. But it was shortly after that we start seeing a red light in the barn, and weird things start to happen. And the mom is looking for Brandon, and she goes out into the barn, and he's there shaking the barn doors, talking in a weird language, while this red light is showing up under the floor. The floor.
Could you imagine walking in and seeing that?
No, that's weird.
I'd be like, what are you doing?
That's
Stop.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. But yeah, there's weird things starting to happen after this red light. He's definitely acting different.
Yeah.
And it's more or less like it changed his personality, I guess you could say.
Uh-huh.
But then the next scene is where he was trying to mow the lawn, and he threw the lawnmower like a football field away. Like, not knowing his own strength.
Yeah.
Obviously. But it was also like the first glimpse into what exactly was going on, And then he walks over with the lawnmower running, and he sticks his hand in the lawnmower, and it doesn't hurt him. It bends the blade against his arm. I mean, it was clear that Brandon was basically Superman, but it's like, you never would have expected this to start happening like this.
Yeah.
Or so soon,
Yeah.
It was fairly quick into the movie where it was just like...
kind of out of nowhere, too.
Yeah. Then they were at the birthday party. It was, what was it, 12th birthday?
I think so.
And it was kind of a mixed birthday party. Like, they were, having fun and happy at the beginning, but then the uncle got him a gun for his birthday.
Yeah.
And then it went south really fast. The dad has guns, and he's a hunter. So, why was it that he couldn't have a gun? You know what I mean?
Probably because they knew he was,
I guess, but they didn't
not
really...
normal?
In a way, I guess, but it's like... they didn't actually know what he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he should at least want to teach the kid to be safe around the gun at the very least.
Especially if you're on a farm, I guess.
Yeah, especially if you're on a farm.
And surrounded by guns in general.
Right. But it was also weird and mixed because he was talking back to his father.
Yeah.
He got really smart with him. It was like almost yelling at him. I thought he was gonna like try to kill him or something.
Yeah.
That's what I was worried about for a minute. But then there's just like weird things happening everywhere. Like not only is he acting different, but like the red light keeps showing up, and like he keeps sleepwalking, and he's just acting weird towards his parents now. It's like those were the only two people that were nice to him.
Yeah, why would you...
I don't know. And I mean, I get it, they lied to you about where you came from, stuff like that, but it's like, these two people were taking care of you.
Yeah.
But they were also the only ones that were nice. They loved you, but whatever, that's beside the point anyway. And, so they go hunting. And it was a very awkward talk that they had. I don't think
Yeah.
if I have to have that kind of talk, I don't think I would ever word it that way.
Approach it like that.
That was
He
kind
could
of-
have said it a little better.
Yeah, that was a little
He
odd.
said you'll want to touch yourself.
Play with yourself and it's okay.
Your penis.
It's like that was just like the most awkward
Yeah,
way.
you don't have to like say all that. I think
No. And if you're gonna say it, like just say it, get it over
Just-
with.
throw it out there.
Like they're gonna thank you later for not like tiptoeing around it. Like
Yeah.
just say it.
Just be like, it's
Get it over-
alright.
Yeah, fuck it. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was that was awkward. Awkward for us
Yeah. Very
watching
awkward.
it. But then they went back to the tent and they were, gonna sleep and stuff, but weird things start happening at the girl's house, who was nice to him before. The laptop starts opening, playing music randomly, which at first glance doesn't seem all that abnormal. Because, that happens sometimes, but then it happened a second time,
Yeah.
which is weird.
Weird
And
that
then-
it happened twice.
Right. And then this is where you get a glimpse of the window being open. It's like, okay, somebody's messing with her. And then you see the curtain kind of flutter and Brandon's standing outside the window. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess that kind of makes sense of why this weird stuff is happening to the
Yeah.
girl now. And she got scared, understandably. And this is also, well, shortly after we see that Brandon's messing with the chickens, which was kind of a first odd sign into, like, something's going on here. It's also, like, the point in which the audience watching the movie is like, okay, this is not gonna go well.
Something's not right.
Something's
here.
not right, exactly. Because who just, what normal person just, sits there and stares at chickens like that?
Not me, that's for sure.
And they were freaking out too, so it's not like,
They know. Animals know.
yeah, they know. But then at school, they were playing this weird game of like pushing one person around or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And the girl, Brandon was pushed towards the girl, and the girl just yells "ooh" and moves out of the way, and he hits the ground. And she was calling him a pervert and stuff, which I don't know if that would be my first reaction, because how would Brandon have been at your house? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seemed like she jumped to conclusions pretty quickly.
Which, it was him.
It was, but it was like,
But,
you don't know that he has superpowers.
yeah, you don't know that for a fact.
That he can get
So-
into your room that quickly and do that stuff to you. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not even like he really did anything weird. It was just like he turned on a song.
Yeah, he didn't do anything worse than that.
No, so it was kind of weird that she jumped to conclusions that quickly. But it was also like, and it was also in a way understandable, his reaction. It's like, you're calling me a pervert in front of everybody here,
Yeah.
and he just snaps her hand. He just crushes the hell out
Breaks
of
it.
Yeah, just snaps it. And her wrist. But then, right after that scene, the barn starts calling to him. Which,
Which
Is not a good thing.
That's weird.
yeah, that's weird that the spaceship in the barn just keeps calling to him.
Yeah.
Because you can tell that this is not going to go well. Just by the fact that this inanimate object keeps calling to Brandon. That's also where Brandon and his mom have a talk, saying, no, we didn't adopt you, you came from space, blah blah blah. And he was like, you lied to me, and he was mad and everything, and he went to bed and woke up and was like, oh no, I'm fine, we're good.
Yeah.
But he goes to the girl's house and was like, hey, like, why were you, mean to me, blah blah blah. My mom said not to talk to you, and he's like, I'm taking care of that.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean?
Exactly what he did.
And then weird things start happening to the girl's mom at the diner. She's like seeing something all around, and the light bulb explodes into her eyeball, which is pretty gruesome.
Yeah, that was... Yeah.
That was gross.
You watched her pull a piece of glass out of her eye. Oh. I can't even think about
Which you shouldn't have done. You should have left it in. And went to the hospital and had them take it out, but... She also ends up dead. Or, well, she disappears, we should say, at this point in the movie, because we don't know if she's dead or not.
Safe to assume, though.
Safe to assume, because it was him. And the way it looked, it looked like he, like, ripped her in half or something.
Yeah.
But he cut through that steel door like it was nothing, just to get at her.
No big deal.
But, then Brandon starts talking to the aunt, like as a counselor or whatever, and he threatens the aunt at her house. Like, there was a weird interaction at school between Brandon and the aunt, right? And then he was saying how he was superior and stuff, which...
Why?
I guess technically, yeah, he was.
Technically, yeah, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong, but, like, it was kind of weird to phrase it that way, for one thing. And then he shows up at the aunt's house and was, like, threatening her.
Yeah.
To not tell the parents about anything. Which the aunt, in a way, kind of, to me, that was kind of a weird reaction, in a way. I don't think any real aunt and uncle would be weirded out that their nephew was at their house.
I'd be like, why weren't you here sooner? Come on in!
Yeah,
what do you want, pizza rolls?
you would think that would be a normal reaction.
Yeah.
But she was like, why are you here? I was like...
Please.
Does it matter?
I said you're not a real aunt. I don't know who you're talking to. Like
yeah. But then... Brandon was hiding in the house when his uncle showed back up to the house and found him in the closet, rips the mask off, is yelling at him and stuff, and goes to take him home. Like, that doesn't seem like a normal reaction from an actual uncle either.
Yeah.
To be mad that his nephew was in the house like that.
Hiding. I mean, who cares?
Yeah. They were probably just playing a prank on you, and for you to, like, rip him out of the house like that seemed weird to me.
Not that serious.
No, it's not. But then he kills the uncle in a pretty brutal way. He's, like, chasing the uncle down in the car. And, I thought it was funny that he saw Brandon standing in the middle of the road, and he's like, nope. No. Like... That was a genuine reaction. Yeah. Like, anybody would act like that.
Nope, no thanks.
I'm done. And
turn me around.
Brandon picks the car up, drops it on its front end, shatters the uncle's jaw. The jaw was just hanging off of his face, which was disgusting.
So gross.
Really good effects.
Really good effects.
But... the uncle ends up dying, and Brandon draws his symbol in blood. But I also have in question mark the aunt is dead.
Yeah.
Question mark, because that was the original plan. They kind of switched plans really quickly, but how come he didn't go back and kill the aunt? because
I think he was just trying to torture her more. Because if he would have just killed her, it wouldn't have been as much torture. Does that make sense?
I guess. But then, right after that scene, we find out that the aunt's actually alive because she was at the hospital. And yeah, he had passed away. The uncle's dead. There's no way around it. Like, there was
Yeah.
no way to live from that. He choked on his own blood, for one. But, like, his face was ripped in half.
Disgusting.
How do you really live from that?
You don't.
Yeah. But then there was the dad's dream. It was very creepy.
Yeah.
The dad was having a dream of the night that they found him. Because the dad's very suspicious about Brandon. And
It turns out he's right.
it turns out he's right. Exactly. But he goes to the woods where the mom is standing there holding a baby, and blood just starts pouring out of him. Which has to be one of the creepiest parts of the dream for anybody.
That was freaky.
Yeah, that was weird. But then they finally decide to confront Brandon. They were telling him, "Oh, your uncle's dead, blah blah blah," but he showed no remorse
He said,
to
okay.
it. He's like, "Okay," because he did it.
Yeah.
And the dad just decided to finally say, "Hey, like, we know that something's going on. What the fuck's wrong with you?" kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he pushes his dad into the dish rack thing. Showed off his strength and pushed him. And I mean,
Yeah.
he could have easily killed him, like pushed him through the house, and he was just dead.
Oh, definitely.
And clearly that scares the shit out of him. And he runs up to the room to find that shirt he was hiding, which was covered in the uncle's blood. And that ends up being a point for later on in the movie. But the sheriff comes to talk to the mom while they were away for the weekend hunting. And he asks her about that symbol that was drawn on the ground. Now, I do understand her wanting to come or the sheriff wanting to come talk to her, because this was, her brother-in-law involved in the accident. But I don't think I would necessarily immediately think that symbol was a BB. Do you?
No, not from first glance.
It seems like he kind of jumped to that conclusion a little fast.
Yeah.
Was that he just automatically knew that it was a BB and that it meant Brandon Breyer.
Yeah.
Because to me, it could have meant Brightburn if you were thinking BB. Because that was what the city was called.
Yes. That makes sense.
But it also looks like a legit symbol.
Yes. Also
So,
correct.
I don't know. It just seemed like the sheriff jumped to a conclusion that it was this little kid.
This
little
12-year-old.
This 12-year-old. It seemed a little quick to me. But the mom runs up and checks his notebooks and finds out that it was actually him killing people. And the dad shoots him
In the head.
in the head, which in hindsight, it's like that was a stupid choice, because earlier in the movie you literally said nothing scratches him. Like, he's never been scratched, cut, bruised, anything. So what makes you think a gun would have stopped him?
Yeah, he's superhuman, and he can kill you. Why would you even try that?
I don't know.
I get why.
Yeah, I get why he would have done it, but it's like,
also,
you've never seen him get hurt.
that was stupid.
Yeah. But then he ends up dying. In a pretty brutal way, too.
Yeah.
He fires his eye lasers into his dad's eyes and just melts his brain pretty much. But then he starts to attack the mom and chase her around the house and break through the house, and he's like destroying it.
Yeah.
Like ripping it apart to attack the mom. But then the sheriff shows up He obliterates the sheriff. Completely blows him up.
Doesn't even give him a chance.
No, he doesn't even give him a chance. Not that he had a chance to do anything, but it's just like he blew him the fuck
He blew
up.
him up.
But then he kills the deputy in also a brutal way. You don't get to see it, but it was still pretty fucking brutal if you ask me. That was insane.
Oh yeah.
Like her face was like ripped apart
Yeah.
too. Wild.
Fuck that.
So the mom ends up running out to the barn because she realized that the spaceship was the only thing that cut Brandon. And that's where the light turns on and she finds Erica, which was the mom from the diner. She was dead in the barn and gutted. Like hung up, like almost crucified on the wall, and just guts were hanging out and everything. But then she decides to confront Brandon to stop him from killing her. And she goes to stab him, and he stops her, which I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
And he gets pissed off, takes her way up into the sky,
Flies her up into the clouds.
and just drops her.
Yep.
Definitely dead.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way around that
I don't think she
one.
survived that.
But I wasn't expecting that. I thought that it was going to be the end of the movie where, you know, he stopped. But nope, that's not how that worked. After dropping the mom, he sees an airplane. We knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't show him destroying the plane, but it shows a destroyed plane down on the ground of
The
268
aftermath.
passengers dead. But then it showed that the only person to survive was Brandon, and he was pretending, you know, to be
Victim.
the victim. Exactly. But then shortly after that, it was showing news programs of like Brandon destroying everything, all these different buildings and killing people and stuff. But it was also talking about other superhumans like him also killing and doing
Yeah.
evil things. Which I have a fear fact about later. But yeah, that was the end of the movie there, where it showed that there's other beings other than him.
Yeah. He's
That
not
is-
the only one.
He's not the only one. And I didn't write it down, but like his mask was, it looked similar to a wasp, and it was kind of like a foreshadowing of earlier,
Yeah.
like everything he was explaining that wasps do
That makes sense.
was basically what was
When
happening to him.
Yes, that makes sense.
You know, wasps invade a territory
It's
and
all chicken out.
make the other colony raise their young, and then they take over and all that other stuff, and his mask looks like a wasp head and stuff like that. But I'd probably give this a 7 or 7.5. I don't think it was low enough to get a 6. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool and an interesting take on the whole, like I said earlier, the Superman thing. What if Superman was evil type deal?
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. Never realized it was a horror movie, so that's definitely a cool thing to see.
Yeah, I've seen this before, and I liked it the first time, and I like it again. It was. I wasn't upset that I had to watch it again.
Right.
If that makes sense.
What would you give it?
7.
Yeah,
7
it
and
was.
a half.
There was some instances, like I said earlier, of them jumping to conclusions pretty quickly. And
Yeah,
some
for sure.
unanswered strange questions, but other than that, it was a good movie, you know? And it was definitely inspired from other horror movies. And there's a whole list of things that you can look up of all the similarities between this movie and other movies. But so time for the fear facts here. I got 4 of them, and for the first one, the high school in the movie was actually the same high school that they used for Stranger Things.
Oh, cool.
Which is I don't remember the actual real name, but that's actually really cool to see a movie to be used as one of our favorite shows.
Yeah.
So obviously Brandon was meant to be like Superman if Superman was evil.
Yeah.
But then there was a guy he said about like a merman or whatever. That was supposed to be Aquaman.
Oh, okay.
The witch that strangles people with ropes and stuff was Wonder Woman.
Oh.
Then there was an alien creature.
Yep.
That they didn't talk about, but they showed a picture of him that was supposed to be like an evil version of Martian Manhunter. And there was a picture of somebody who was played by Rainn Wilson in a different picture.
Yeah.
And he was basically Batman, but like an evil version, I guess. I didn't see the movie that they were talking about in the Fear Fact, but it was like Crimson something. I forget. I'll have to look it up and look at the movie and stuff just to see what it is. But yeah, there was basically 5 characters that were the evil versions of comic book characters: Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, and Batman. For the third one, the stabbing at the end where she tried to stab Brandon was very similar to how it happens in Carrie.
Ah.
That was one of the similarities, and it was taken from Carrie.
Interesting.
And for the final fear fact, the name Brandon Breyer was synonymous to how they do names in comic books: Clark Kent, Peter Parker, Bruce Banner, etc. There's a bunch of names like that, so they did Brandon Breyer, the BB.
Yep.
I know Clark Kent is spelled with a K, but it's the C, the K sound.
The K.
And then, Peter Parker, Bruce Banner. They seem to do that a lot in comic books.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know, I couldn't tell you why, but
no, I just think it rolls better.
Yeah. So go ahead and read next week's question. Well, tell them what the next movie is.
Zombievers?
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. I'm excited for that. I was like, that one? No, I'm down. Question for this week. What 1982 film, directed by Wes Craven, centers around a scientist who is transformed into a plant-based monstrous creature? That's it.
So if you know that answer, put it on the Facebooks. If not, then, better luck next time. I'll say that again next week. But yeah, thanks again for listening. And if you're still listening, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yep. We do.
And we'll catch you next week with Zombievers.
Zombievers. Catch you later.